Hello, good evening. A little bit of a different intro for tonight. Um, how are we all? It's Wednesday evening, 10 o'clock. Well, it's not Wednesday evening where you are, Kieran, is it? Obviously. Thursday
No,
morning, yeah?
it's a beautiful, cool, chilly morning. As you can see, me wearing a fucking jacket for the first time for about 8 months. So I got
Right.
down to 9 degrees overnight. For me, that's like freezing point. So, yeah, I'm a little bit too acclimatized, even though the sun's just coming out now. And I can, it'll still warm up to 22 degrees, Gazer, but yeah, we're getting that chilly nights winter thing coming in now.
Yeah. Well, nice to hear that it's going to still be nice and warm for you. Been
Oh,
bloody
it'll still
cold
be
here.
lovely.
It's been cold here today, and it rained on and off all day as well. So I ain't been happy because I've been working out in the garden, just painting a fence. But fucking nightmare. Anyway, I suppose we'd better say hello to the ever faithful group in the chat. Usual. Good evening to you, sir. Says good
Excuse
evening,
me.
ladies. Hope everyone is well. That
Yo,
was
yo.
20 to 6 this afternoon. Randy, all right, Budge, Kieran, and chat. Hope
Hey,
you had a good week so far. Rich, West Ham. Good evening, Rich. Hope
we'll see.
hope everyone is well. Thank you, mate. Weren't sure if we were on tonight. Oh yeah, we're going to keep going right throughout off season, close season, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
We're going to keep going, and at some point, Kieran and I will be doing our Hammers 11 apparently with Russie B. So hopefully we'll get that one on here on this show. But if not, it'll be done as a separate entity. But that's coming up in the future. So yeah, looking forward to that. Got to do a bit of work on that one, Kieran. Got to find your best 11 for that, mate.
Simple. I'll just say 1990 FA Cup winning team, done. Job done. That's all. The quickest my Hammers 11 fucking Russell's ever done. Take that. Pie it on the bench.
Yeah, pie it on the bench. Bloody hell, I love it. Rich, good evening. Oh, look, thank you, mate.
You know, Richie boy.
Can you enlarge the picture? Billy Bonds holding the FA Cup aloft, please. Best sporting day of my life. I'll tell you what I'll do.
And me, Richie boy. And me, Richie boy.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do, young sir. I am going to find that image. Bear with me while I find it. That should be in player gallery. Player gallery, where are you?
Probably like you, Richie. If I'd done on my Hammers 11, he's always going to be my first pick. Always.
Are we talking about this picture here, Rich? Are we talking about that one now?
Do you know, the one I like the best is him. It's a black and white one. Is him lifting the trophy up on the balcony there. That's my favourite photo of Billy Bonds.
Okay.
And that's in the 80 one. Is that 80 or something? That one. That's the best photo of it. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it is a great picture, isn't it? It's a great picture. I'm going to put one other picture of Bonzo up, which kind of, well, in fact, I've got a few Bonzo pictures I'd like to put up as it happens. Because there's this one as well, which I think is a great picture.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a little bit grainy, but that's
it's a bit too set up
from. But this one, this tells you everything you need to know about Billy Bonds and his West Ham career.
Yeah. Now you could stick Socek next to him, mate, and you're exactly the same.
You've got a lovely little pigeon pair, haven't you? Eh?
Yeah, we see Socek, we fucking claret all over him every 10 minutes.
Yeah. Other than little references like that, we're not talking about the modern game tonight at all. So any comments come in about who we should be buying or linked to, they're not going to get even put on the screen. This tonight is a trip down memory lane for all of us. Right? And if you weren't around to live the 70s and the 80s, then all I can say is stick with us and learn. Because you'll hear some stories, you'll see some comments from people in the chat, and we may even get one or two callers in into the studio. You never, ever know. You never know. Everyone's saying hello. Good evening, Mr. Tiley. Good evening, Steve. How are you, sir? There we go. Look, this is one that I starred about half an hour ago, mate. He says, I was privileged to be at both the 75 and 80 Cup finals, also the Cup Winners' Cup semi-final against Frankfurt, and also the final against Anderlecht at the Heysel Stadium.
Brilliant.
Steve, 4 brilliant games that you mentioned there. And, mate, if I'd have been at any one of them 4, I'd have been happy. But you went all 4 of them, son. Fair play to you. Everyone's saying hello. Final destination? No, we're not talking movies yet. Not yet, mate. The week's going well. Good to hear. How good? Good evening, Jay. Oi, me wonderful West Ham familiar. Come on, you irons, he says. Everyone's saying hello. Good to hear. Oi, boys. Good evening, sir. Was going to watch Germany v Portugal, but it was pay-per-view on Amazon Prime. Yeah, get an app. That's all I can say.
I wouldn't be paying for it, no. G'day, Mark. I wouldn't be paying for it, but there you go. But I did hear just now that Ronaldo scored again for Portugal. Fuck me. He's about 62 now, isn't he? And he's still scoring for his national team. It's unreal.
Yeah. But actually, before I came on here, I was in the chat for Tony's show, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly that he does. And they were talking about Ronaldo versus Messi. And I put a comment in there and I just said, if you'd have seen George Best play, you wouldn't even be thinking about any of the others. They would all come second.
I don't like comparing people, especially with different eras. It's just so different. But you're talking about complete elite footballers, right? Of Maradona, Best, Ronaldo, Messi. These are elite. It's really hard to compare them for me to say who's best. I'd say Maradona's probably the best I've seen of all. But Ronaldinho comes into that conversation.
Yeah, of course. And George Best had to be put in that conversation. You know,
even the other Ronaldo, the Brazilian
R9. Yeah, definitely.
But these are elite of the elite, and I don't like to say who's better.
I mean, what a player he was.
Yeah, not quite there, but a great player. But but when you're talking the upper echelon of players, man, how do you pick who was better? I mean, Maradona is the most amazing player I've ever seen. I'd probably put him as mine. Best player.
The best.
George Best, I'd say George Best, he's up there. Yeah. But he fucked his career.
I think the best accolade I ever heard was on a George Best was being interviewed. I think it was either Parkinson or the other one.
Yeah.
One of them ones. He was being interviewed and he said it was in 1974, 5 or 6, somewhere around that era. Fairly sure it was the 74, 75 season. And George Best was voted Players Player of the Year. World Player of the Year or something. And he said, even Pele voted for me. And I think that's high praise. Do you know what I mean? When a man that's always in the conversation when it comes to the greatest players on earth of all time.
Exactly, I didn't even mention Pele earlier on, and he's up there as well, but...
Yeah, of course he is, yeah. I mean, he's right up. And Eusebio, what a player he was in his day.
Yeah, number
In Pele's
great.
day as well, you know. And
It's
that was
just
when players like Jimmy Greaves were at their best.
yeah,
You know?
number brilliant player. I just see it's so hard to compare, especially 70s, right? On the shit pitches they were on and whatever.
Yeah.
And then the fitness levels. If you go back to George Best's days and look at them defenders that he was tearing apart, they're not nowhere near the athletes that they are today. But and the other side of that coin is he was dead boot the fuck out of you as well and get away with it. So he spelled my name wrong. Fucking get him out. That's help. Yeah, he's getting it.
Evening, Jose. Good of you to join us, mate. Yeah, he says. And you know I'm smiling. Of course you are. Of course you are. Got your hands on a bit of silverware at last.
Yeah, mate. You got there, mate. My mate, Big Ange, fucking sorted that out for you, mate. It's always going to happen, mate. When Big Ange always wins on his second year, mate. Always, you know the rules.
Hold on a minute.
He must be the first Australian. He must be the first Australian to win a European trophy.
Pretty good shout, that, mate. Pretty good shout. Everton never won anything with Cahill.
Yeah. No, I'm just talking as a manager. He'd be the first
manager. Yeah, definitely as a manager, he'd be the only one. But as an Australian winning the European trophy, I ain't concerned about whether he would be.
Craig Johnston for Liverpool as a player might have won a trophy.
Yeah,
maybe.
Good shout. Now he could have been the first. That's a really good shout, mate. Will Declan Rice be in your all-time West Ham 11?
Whoa, good question, Damien. Good question. Who knows?
Because the man that I will be putting in his position is 3 times the player that Declan Rice will be.
Oh, 3 times is a big shout.
In my opinion. Oh, he is. He is.
Yeah, well, we know who that is then. Give her that one away.
I've definitely given that one away. What's everyone's thought on the Ramsdale rumours? I hope it's just a rumour. It is shite.
Yeah, not keen, Steve. Not keen.
Absolutely word for word, mate, in my opinion. I would not want that man anywhere near this.
If he was in on loan, it wouldn't be a bad deal.
Fulkrug broke his leg, apparently.
Oh, fuck off, man.
He says, not really.
Yeah, I'm going to say, dodgy fucker.
Wanker, isn't he? Good evening, Harry. Howard, I should say.
Howard. No, I'm not going to Harry Monks. He's Howard.
David Moyes, good evening to you, sir. Good of you to pop in. I know you're busy out there.
Have he gone from twisted to swollen?
He's gone from David Moyes' twisted bollock to David
Moyes'
blue swollen bollock.
Oh, blue swollen, is that what it says?
Yeah.
Fucking stop twisting up your bollocks. Fucking hell, man. I was calling him twisted, and now he's got the swollen.
Oh, dear. Hold up. Damien says 2 people in my West Ham.
Goodness, really?
They are both literally the 2 best players ever to play for West Ham.
No.
Ooh,
no, Damien, pushing it there, boy. Pushing it there. Kudus hasn't proved enough for me to be it.
Me either.
No,
mate, I would stand Ian Bishop up against Kudus.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, no, Kudus hasn't done enough for me.
I use Ian Bishop because he's not in my 11, right? But I would put him up against Kudus. And as for Rice, there's only 2 players that could challenge Declan Rice for being in that position. And I've picked one of them.
Anyway.
People say hello, which is always nice. Full time, Portuguese 2, Germans 1.
Well done,
Sean, good evening, sir. Croc attacks were better in the 70s and 80s. They were, yeah, mate, they were. And unfortunately, Sean, I know that's not the only reason you're here, but it's the main reason you're here. There are no shark or croc stories tonight. No. Unfortunately. Because none have actually got hungry this week. And B, because we're talking about old school football.
Even though I did see a clip that I've seen before this week.
Are we talking about a shark or something here?
Yeah, we are talking about a shark.
Oh, come on in. We got to play the intro just for that.
Oh, we can do the intro. It's just...
Any excuse to get that bugger out there, mate. Any excuse.
Any excuse, mate. Yeah, just for that. It's just that I'd seen it, and I'd seen it a long while back, right? There's a geezer out here on the YouTube, an Aussie boy in Western Australia. And his channel's called Youngbloods, or YBS, right? Oh, right. And what he does, he just goes out on his boat and whatever, Western Australia. Young geezer, I'd say he wouldn't even be 30, this bloke. And he's got a fucking beautiful place on the beach there, close to it. And he just goes out spearfishing. He goes out on the boat, on a jet ski, on a canoe. But his footage is fucking unbelievable. Some of the footage he's put up, he uses a drone as well to get the overhead view. And there was this one that just came up this week, and it just reminded me of him. I haven't seen him for a little while. And he's been going years, bloke, and he's really big. He's got about 8 million fucking subscribers, right? He's doing really well. But he's got this one where he got this kayak canoe built, but it's see-through plastic, geezer, completely see-through.
Right.
And he went out, he's out in the ocean there, just paddling away, right? And then you see a sea snake come up near him. He pushes that away with a paddle. And then he's put the drone up, so the drone's giving you that camera view from above him. And along comes this great white geezer. And the great white starts circling the canoe, you know. Must be so curious because it's see-through, can see all of him. But it's and when the great white comes to the side of him, the great white's bigger than his canoe. It's about 0.5 metre bigger. So he's a 3.5 metre shark, right? And you just see it, and the footage from the drone is fucking impressive, man. I mean, it's a really calm day. The water's flat, right? And clear as.
Like 16, 18 feet, 16 feet, 3.5 metres, isn't it?
Yeah, 12, about 14.
14 foot, yeah.
Yeah, it's about 12 feet long. I'd say about 12 feet long it was. We'd have 12 feet would be 4 metres, wouldn't it? So it's a bit less. Between 10 and 12, you're guessing, but it was longer than the fucking canoe. Big enough. It's definitely an adult male, let's put it that way. And then he even puts his camera into the water so you can see it circling his thing underneath, you know. It's a great bit of footage. If anyone likes that sort of stuff, watch that guy. It's called the Youngbloods, YBS shortened, yeah. But really, really good channel. He done another one there where he was out there and this whale he was on his boat that day, a whale, it was a migration season, and this whale come right under his boat and come up the other side. And when you get that drone footage, you see it so clearly, it's mental. Brilliant. You get some brilliant footage. Anyway.
Evening, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, look, Jose saying, look, first Aussie and first Greek.
Yeah, we've got to cast that, mate. He is a Greek Australian. He was born in Athens, I think, and then moved over to Melbourne, which a lot do. And for anyone who doesn't know it, Melbourne's got the biggest Greek community outside of Athens.
That's it.
Yeah, they were,
That's it.
you know, big migration thing here in the 50s and the 60s, and Greece fucking sent over a lot. And most of them went to Melbourne. So it's got massive Greek communities down in Melbourne.
Oh, mate. So you could be walking down the street and you'll hear, "Hello, Cobber. Do you want some moussaka?"
You get a great kebab down there, man. Great kebab.
Revelino, 1970. I was mesmerised as usual.
Yeah, there's another one, wasn't he? Fucking unbelievable.
Actually, Jose came up with a couple of good names. But Eusebio and Pushkas.
Yeah, both of them a little bit before our time. See Eusebio near the end of his thing. Pushkas, everyone rated Pushkas one of the greats. So you got to go by what they're telling you, the people that actually watch them.
Yeah. Another player you could put right up there with them, I suppose, Sir Trevor.
He's better than all of them, Mark. He's better than all of them.
Yeah. GP, good evening to you, buddy.
GP.
So let's have a little story. I'll try flicking through some of it.
I'm going to put this kettle on again in a minute, son.
Yeah, go on, mate. You go for it.
Because I need to have that one more cup of tea.
A story about one of my first games at Upton Park as a independent teenager, I suppose. We were playing Stoke, and I can't remember what year it would be. I was 15, I suppose. So we're looking at 75, 76. We were playing Stoke. It was just a league game, as far as I'm aware. And we were just good evening, Iron Disciple. Me and my mate Kip, we travelled up there on the bus. On the train. We got there for about 11:30 in the morning. 3:00 kickoff. So we tried a couple of pubs, couldn't get into any of them. Wouldn't let us in. We were too young looking. So we thought, right, we'll try and, try our luck in a corner shop, get a few cans, a few cans of, I don't know, Long Life or whatever it was back then. And anyway, so we ended up with these fucking bottles of Thunderbird. They were disgusting, but we got properly drunk. Went into the game, I think we drew 2-2, I believe it was. But the thing was, when we came out of the ground, there was a big old push towards the station, as always. But for some reason, all of the gates had been opened at the same time. So there were hundreds of Stoke fans everywhere. And it was around about that sort of time that you didn't really get many families. You didn't really get many women going to the games. It was mostly men, and it got a little bit heated. And the old Bill were trying to stop everybody from scrapping. It was really it got quite naughty at some points. We got escorted to the station, and again, down on the platforms, there were Stoke fans everywhere, and it was so disorganised in the way of like the police and stuff that they were just running battles everywhere you looked, on the stairs. Like, it was just ridiculous. And I didn't get home too easily that night either, because of all the tie up on the trains, and there were police everywhere on the train, and it's just ridiculous. Anyway, that's it really. Nothing really majorly drastic, but a little story.
beautiful. I'm trying to get out of that sun.
Right, that's where we were.
Oh, yeah.
Damien says he loves it. I love yous too, but I'm not a West Ham fan anymore. Oh, Damien. Damien.
Can only get better, you. Only get better, mate.
Yeah.
This time next year we'll be champions. Smell it.
Now there's a name that I do remember well, Jorginho. Yeah, if I remember rightly, he was like 1970 and 1974 World Cup Golden Boot or something like that. I can't remember quite what it was about him. There was some. I remember he was Brazilian. I don't remember Gento, but Jorginho, I do remember, and I'm pretty sure he played in the same squad as Pele for a short
Yeah, he was with Pele. Thinking that 1970 World Cup, they were just fucking amazing. Jorginho and Pele and all of that team. The best Brazilian team I've ever seen.
This next comment, I'm sorry, Damien. Got a lot of respect for you, mate, but that is nowhere near. Sorry, mate. But the next comment, Zico was a fantastic player.
Another one.
He was fantastic.
Yeah. You know, Ronald, when it comes to pure techers, right, I think Ronaldinho is probably better than all of them. Just these unbelievable things he can do with the ball, man. Just ridiculous.
They're coming up with a lot of Brazilian names, look.
Garrincha. Yeah.
He was good. Garrincha. Yes. He was good.
Wow.
Damien's fishing again, I see.
We had Jeff Pike, mate. Fucking beat them all.
Jeff Pike. Yeah, mate. Watch him next season at Newcastle or Chelsea when he plays from the right. Kudos. Mate, it don't matter where he goes. If he's playing in the right position, he'll be a great player for whoever he goes to. It won't be West Ham, but I still disagree. He's not a better player than Bowen. Bowen makes goals from nothing. Kudus is struggling to make goals. Old school Croc stories. They love them, don't they? They love the Croc stories.
Yeah, it's a shame. Ain't got nothing to give you this week, mate. Been scouring, but nothing. They're a bit quiet this time of year, the Sharks and the Crocs, because of the cooler weather.
Oh, I'm gonna get a couple of tops made up, Kieran. One for me, and I'll send one over to you. And I'll have a croc and a shark on them with old school hammers or something on them. Have them dressed up in West Ham shirts or something. I don't know. Be quite a laugh.
We could just get a Greg Norman shirt. He's got the shark on it, hasn't he? He was known as the Great White, wasn't he? He was known as the Great White Shark. Greg Norman.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Oh, I'm fucking swollen again. What is that?
Usual, not fishing, just being real. Still love these boys, just not West Ham. I'm an Arsenal fan. Wow.
All right.
Going because he's disillusioned with Graham Potter, etc., to Mikel Arteta. Great move. Great move, Damien. I'm sorry, I don't mean to take the piss, mate, but that's surely taking the piss, surely. Every time you hear what you think of GP? Howard? All right, no, that's current. Can't, no. Brendan, good evening, buddy. Evening all, Kieran. I didn't read that a kangaroo tried to drown in floodwater a couple of weeks ago. Did he?
I didn't read it, Brendan. Could have happened. I didn't get it here, but fucking hell. They did have some serious floods.
Yeah, apparently so. I saw a couple of news. It
was a really weird. There was one really weird story there. It showed this drone over one of these big properties was just flooded to fuck. All his cattle were on the beach, geezer, in the surf to get away from the floods. That's the only place he could go. We're standing knee deep in the surf out the beach.
Oh.
Which, you know, I'm worried than getting drowned. Mental, eh?
Yeah. GP, good evening again. Thank you for the £2. You are the griddle, I am the meat, he says.
GP. Fucking. Make what you will.
And if you've only just tuned in, welcome to Pawn Watch. Hold on, look. We should be like that, really, shouldn't we? Randy, I have a fever that's got me so out of my head. I'm watching back to the 06-07 Alan Kirbishley period, losing it.
Oh,
Mate, the best thing about that period of time for me was the 06 Cup final. Is middle name Lucky by any chance? Is this stuff about Ramsdale I'm seeing serious? Disturbing if it is. Mate, I don't know. That a lot of people are talking about it. I've seen Hammers Chat talking about it. I've seen West Ham Fan TV talking about it. And I've seen young Jake on West Ham Unofficial talking about it. So, listen, it's a story that's out there. I think you'll find even Stell's put a video out.
I wouldn't, not said, I wouldn't want to buy him as a future number one. If we brought him in on loan for the season, so he got two decent keepers.
I wouldn't even want him as a warm-up goalkeeper.
I would. No. I'd have him as a backup. I'll tell you that. I'd have him as backup, but that'd be it.
Not me. Really,
it's not a priority to us, geezer. We need so many players. The keeper one isn't a priority, but you need someone in there to back up what's name. I don't think put a young keeper in there. That'd be disastrous.
Here's a great question.
Who's that? Jameson.
Jameson Husbandson.
Well, that's what it is, mate.
I hope you're already a subscriber. If you're not, please subscribe. It is free. Don't forget to hit the like button, everybody. That's free also. If you could bring back one former player at his peak to play in our current team, who would you choose?
Mate, I could, if I look at the team, what we need at this moment, I'd pick it from that, not necessarily my favourite player or whatever, because Billy Bonds, I don't think, Billy Bonds now, in this modern era, Billy Bonds would be like, it'd be like Alvarez. You're not sure if he's going to get booked or sent off every week. It's because of the rule changes now. But I think I'd like someone like Trevor Brooking in there. Just to sort that midfield out and give us some creativity. Him or Devonshire. Devonshire on the left now would be perfect for us. We could do it.
I agree. I think I'm tied between 2 or 3. I
could pick 10.
But
I can change that whole thing.
Between our 3 different positions. One of them is Trevor Brooking. Another one is what's his name? Martin Peters. I think Martin Peters would do brilliantly in
shit.
Shut up, you. Martin Peters or Dean Ashton.
Yeah, Dean Ashton would be a good pick for our striker.
Yeah.
But if you wanted goals, I'd just bring back fucking Cotty and McAvenny and throw them up front. Start doing stuff, boys.
Yeah. There's 1,001 players we could name. But that's a really good question, Jameson. Thank you for asking that one. One last. One last time. Kudos. Well done, Damien. I love it. You put a smile on my face. Iron says, if we get Ramsdale, I'm going to the zoo and having a swim with some crocs.
No worries. Well, send us a story so we can tell it here, will you?
Yeah, you know. Get the missus to video it for us, Iron.
Yeah. Iron's only got one leg now.
Oh, brilliant. Apparently the same guy has survived the shark attack, so probably Harry. And what did Harry? Oh, mate, I don't know. Crocs, Jim Croce. To add insult to injury. Who's Jim Croce?
Jim Croce, wasn't he a singer?
Oh, maybe. He's not the one that did shut up in your face, is it?
Yeah, it might have been. Was it him?
Could be. Jameson, are you Icelandic? Nice. Iron may join you, mate. No funny business, though. No, it's a nickname from my wife. I'm a Brit expat in Canada. All right,
yeah.
okay. So your name's Jamie, and it's husband and son.
Probably.
Maybe. I don't know. But that's quite
a lot
funny.
of letters, mate. If you play for West Ham, there's too many fucking letters, you know, on the back of the shirt.
Yeah. Instead of 90 quid, it's now 130. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Without the put just JH.
Yeah. Whereabouts in Canada are you, Jameson? Jamie? Yeah, I'm going to call you Jamie. Much easier. That Hammers TV are talking about you, says GP. Tony plans to kidnap Cieran and have Fuzzy nick his hat.
I'll send you one if you want. Even though I bought this hat in Portugal. Believe that.
Yeah. Right. What else have we got here?
Brendan, you doing, bro?
Got any old Upton Park stories, Kieran?
Loads. I can't remember many. No, just.
Come, tell us about the semi-final replay up at Villa. Tell us about
semi-final replay.
Up
I wasn't at that one, was I?
Oh, when you had that one?
No, well, I'm sorry. The semi-final itself, I think we had a wedding in the family, and I couldn't go to the semi-final, the first one at Villa Park, right? The first one was so I couldn't go, but after the wedding and that was trying to check out the scoring, and then realised we'd had a draw there. I was fucking delighted. Must have been the only West Ham fan who was delighted with a draw, because then I knew there'd be a replay during the week, and so I could go. So it was at Ellen Road, so teamed up with my mates, and I took about 3 days off work for that one. We went up to Ellen Road for that semi-final replay, and that was one of the most emotional nights ever in that game. Was so brilliant. It was so tense. Then Everton, West Ham, there was just nothing in between them. There was it took one instant to separate both teams. And when we went 1-0 up with Devonshire, we thought that was it. We were at Wembley, you know, we were there. And I remember that fucker Bob Latchford, I think he was, scored their equaliser. Oh, mate, I was gutted. We were dying. And then, because we were in the side of Ellen Road there, they put us in there, and Everton had the end behind that goal. And then it went to extra time, mate. And you go, Jesus, fuck. And then me I don't know. I still, to this day, I don't know what Frank Lampard Senior was doing up there. I still don't know. Right, but he was up there for some fucking memory.
He's always maintained he had no idea why he was up there either.
Oh yeah, nobody knows, mate. It was just one of them fake things, and I mean, I think David Cross knocked it onto him, and he headed it. And I'm telling you now, that was missing. That was missing, and thanks to that shit pitch, it hit a fucking turd of dirt, and it just turned right a little bit inside the post and went in. Fucking. Then he ran over to the corner flag, didn't he, and started running around it. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do, the geezer. But that's where we were standing. And you go, wow, it was just, one of the greatest. And you knew you were at Wembley then when that final whistle went. So it was just so brilliant. I was fucking in tears, geezer. It was emotional. It was, well. But, and then who was it I talked about? Who was on there that said they were on the same train? We got on that train to get out of there, and it broke down, and we was on the track for about 4 fucking hours. Didn't get back into London till about fucking 6 in the morning. It was brilliant. So that day off work was finished. Yeah. So then the next day was Friday. I couldn't be asked for that one either.
Fuck it, boss. I'll do the doors Monday. Brilliant. I love it.
It'd be amazing to know how many people were left that actually went to that 1980 Cup final. There'd be a lot of people that, probably left us by now.
Yeah, I mean, I like some of the guys that I drink with in Carpenters, they, a lot of them were at the game, and it sort of, I love drinking with them because I wasn't at the game, and they were at the game, and they tell me about it, and they tell me about it from a perspective that not many people will hear.
That's right.
Some of the stories that they tell you, and it's not my place to repeat them, but some of the stories that they tell you about stuff that happened or that went on, or stuff that they had witnessed during those times and during that game and that, it's just incredible. I went to a few away games, and I say a few. I probably, during the 70s and 80s, I probably went to maybe 3 dozen away games, maybe 2 dozen away games, maximum, over a 20-year period. So, it weren't exactly like I was a regular at the away games, but I really loved them. I really enjoyed going to the away games. The atmosphere was always so good.
The actual final it's a bit more of a blur than that semi-final replay. I can remember that semi-final replay so much because so much was at stake. You lose a semi-final, and that's it. You're not at Wembley. The fan base don't get to go to Wembley. We didn't. Even playing Arsenal in the final was a big ask. But you just wanted to get there. And I can remember that so well, that semi-final replay. But the final itself was a blur, really.
Yeah.
And it was just hanging on. We weren't hanging on at the end, but you as a fan was hanging on at the end. Just blow the fucking whistle. Yeah. We just wanted to get our hands on that cup, and it happened. It was fucking brilliant. Yeah. Can't remember much about it before or after it. It was just, wow.
Jamie says his first game was 1969. We beat Newcastle 1-0. Jeff Hurst scored. Funnily enough, Jamie, my first ever game was 1966-67. So late 66, after the World Cup. And that was it was late 66. It was in December the 11th, 66. And Jeff Hurst, Bobby Moore, Martin Peters were all still with us at the time. And
I can't remember.
I was only 4 years old, but the only thing I remember is the roar of the crowd when them three boys walked out. That's all I remember. you know, because it scared the
I
life out of me.
couldn't tell you the first 20 games I went to, what teams there were. But I obviously got the bug for it. I was regularly going home and away. So there you go.
Yeah.
I do say one. I tell you one, not that bad really. I've always felt bad for it, geezer. Back in that final at Arsenal, right? You're jammed in, standing then, right? You're standing. We were jammed in. And fuck me, we'd all been to the pub before it, obviously, and we're standing on the chair, and you couldn't hardly move, geezer, to get out to find a toilet underneath, you know. Couldn't get out. We're all busted. And someone had a carrier bag, right? And about 6 of us pissed in this carrier bag. I felt bad for it. And I was the last one to piss in it. And we tied it up. And then, I know, this geezer behind me grabbed the bag and just threw it. We were at the back. Well, not right at the back, at the middle. And he threw it down, fucking splattered against these 20 geezers down, about 30 rows down.
Oh, no.
Poor fuckers, yeah. Yeah, it's not, it weren't a nice thing to do, but what do you do? Yeah. Brings the tone down, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I love that, though. That's funny. That is really funny. GP said his first game was the White Horse final. What was that, 1928 or something? Wasn't it 26?
24.
Was it? Long life beer, mate. You must remember that. Everybody was drinking it back in the 70s.
I remember it. I don't think I ever drank
it. Thank you for joining us, bud.
You're like, right. Choice of trend.
Right. So, Harry, look it up. Kangaroo tries to drown man in Australian floodwaters on the BBC News channel. Apparently, the guy was boxing the roo.
Mud wrestling. Mud wrestling with it.
Over there, though. Do they actually really try and box kangaroo?
They have done, yeah. They have done.
Fucking mental.
Because they do sort of box when they're in rutting season. They're fucking the big red kangaroos, mate. They're dangerous. Because they see that all the bitches around them, they're bitches. If you come near them, they see you as a threat to them. So they'll fucking fight you and try and gouge you with their back feet, mate. Because they're protecting their harem.
Iron says Thunderbird and Stoke fans. I see where this is going. Well, it kind of did go that way, Iron, but, you know, for the sake of, like, not saying too much on somebody else's channel, I kind of left a lot out, but there was a lot of violence involved, lots of it. Sugaroo Leonard versus Roberto Drowns Man. Sugaroo Leonard, Roberto Duran, or
Sugaroo Leonard.
Sugaroo Leonard, love it. Nice one, Sean. In the days before Fortnite, mate, that game, I've banned it in my house. My son don't really like it much anyway. With Tony Pulis there. What are the White Horse final? A fortified wine, Thunderbird. Yes, it is. It's disgusting, but it's about 11% proof or something. And we used to drink it.
Thunderbirds will go off we talk about Thunderbird.
No, Thunderbird drink. It's like a
I've heard of it now. You say it.
Yeah, and we used to. I mean, at the time when we were going to football, it was probably about I don't know, $1.50 a bottle maximum. Ridiculously cheap. and we were buying like there was like 6 of us maybe on the journey, and we'd all have a bottle on the train. And then when we got off the train, all the bottles would be empty. And in the first off license, necking the next one, a couple of bottles of that. Fucking disgraceful, mate. What year was that, Budge? That would have been 75, maybe 76. Fine. Maybe 76, if I'm honest. No, it would have been 76 or 7. I was either 15 or 16. I was born 62, January. So I was already either 15 or 16. I'm sure I was 15. So it would have been 77 then. Yeah, 77.
77 goes. I was running around with a punk haircut and 4 earrings.
You know,
yeah. Oh, I got into the punk big time, right?
Cherry reds and when we cherry reds and we stay fresh and we braces and we bench shirtman looking proper crisp. On the,
I remember buying a jacket from Oxfam.
Oh mate, I had a Harrington, a really nice, like dark red one, you know, wine coloured, I suppose you would call it. But like a lot of West Ham fans had them, didn't we? Lots of us. And I had this jacket, and I took it off in the pub stupidly, threw it on a coat. Well, I've gone back to go and get my jacket when I'm going to the game, and there's no jacket there. So everybody wearing a red fucking Harrington got tapped on the shoulder. Excuse me, mate, can I just have a look inside your jacket? Sorry. I just want to make sure it's not mine, mate. Well, no, it ain't. I came in with it on. Well, just show me the pocket. And I'm like, why? And I opened the jacket up, showed me the inside pocket. It's fine. I had a big cut right at the bottom of my pocket on the inside because I'd put some stuff in there I shouldn't have done, and it cut through. So yeah. Right, Carlos Alberto, what a good player he was.
Yeah, another classic.
Usual comes up with the tune as always. Look, shall I mourn your decline with some Thunderbird wine?
Oh, remember that lyric?
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Socrates. Oh no, the player Socrates. I thought you were suggesting that them lyrics were by Socrates. Scored in every round of the 1970 World Cup, Jorginho. That's probably what I remember about him. I mean, 1970, I would have been, 8 years old. So I was just getting into football in a big way. And the 1970
I remember that
really,
World Cup, Mexico.
Yeah.
That's the best Brazilian side you've ever seen. Ever seen. They're fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, look, they ran that fucking show from beginning to end, didn't they? You know, the Brazilians, they were brilliant throughout that tournament. Anyone catch PST today? American announcer, forever blowing bubbles everywhere we go. Another foul for us Yanks.
Don't know. TST today, I don't even know what it is.
Right. Forever blowing bubbles everywhere we go. Right. No, that's current stuff. We won't bother with that. Miss your sweet Virginia whisper. Whatever that is, Frog. Dunga was good, underrated, but not a flair player. No, you're right. He was good. He was good in the same sort of way as someone like Roy Keane. Solid. Always got the tackles in. You know what I mean? He was that kind of solid, no nonsense sort of player, Dunga. Ian Jury, Sweet Gene Vincent.
Hey, that's the usual. Didn't I like him, man? Ian Jury and the Blockheads, man. They were great. Fucking great.
And a black handkerchief. White shirt, black tie. New Boots, Panties, great album.
Yeah, New Boots and Panties. I've got that in vinyl downstairs, actually, that New Boots and Panties.
Right, there's a lot of current chat going on, so I'm going to skip past that. So Jay says Pele, Diego Maradona, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Johan Cruyff. That's someone we haven't mentioned. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Right. Michel Platini, Zinedine Zidane, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, which is R9, Iniesta, Xavi, Thierry Henry. See, we
All of
haven't
them.
mentioned him. Every single one of them. Well done, Jay.
I tell you, guys, De Bruyne has been one of the best players in the Premier League, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's been unbelievable. I'll tell you one, a guy that doesn't get enough credit, and it's probably because De Bruyne has been there throughout his tenure, is Bernardo Silva. I reckon he's one of the best players, midfielders in the Premier League. He's getting to the end of it now, but if you ever watch City, and I always take notice because I've always liked this Bernardo Silva, right?
Yeah.
If you see his work rate through one game, he's perpetual motion. He doesn't stop running and moving. And he's not the youngest anymore, but watch him in a City game. He's everywhere. He's on the right. He's in the middle. He's at the left. He's at the back. He's forever moving, man. His engine is unbelievable. And I think he's underrated, even though I know that the professionals rate him highly. But I think he deserves more credit for all the success City have had in the last few years. Great player.
If they were on the beach, they were mood steaken for sharp.
Yeah, the cattle on the beach.
Yeah.
It is a good place for him.
Jay also went on to say Paolo Maldini, Beckenbauer, George Best, Lev Yashin, one of the best goalkeepers of his day, and Roberto Baggio, great player. Love Baggio.
Very hard now if you look through that Premier League now to pick out that many that are that great.
Billy Bonds.
Mr. Bob.
Rusty Rumours. Yeah, we love the Rusty Rumours. Everyone's saying hello to Mr. Bond. Bonds. Yes. Antonio. Not one of the top players, no.
Oh, yeah, what a player.
Yeah, mate, he's a legend in his own lunch break.
Yeah, his driving skills leave a bit to be desired, but...
Yeah. And his driving skills, did you say? Or his training skills? Payet or Di Canio at their peak? Yeah, I agree. They're both great players. Good Lord.
Payet, in that one season, Geezer, I've said it before, I think he's one of the best players I've ever seen in a West Ham shirt.
I'd go with that as well. I would definitely go with that. And it was only the one season, but for that one season,
it really was.
You know what I mean?
He didn't have that longevity of brilliance, but fuck me, that season.
That was the closest we ever came and have since to having a player that's capable of winning the Ballon d'Or.
Unbelievable. That was just something.
He was definitely Ballon d'Or material, wasn't he, at that point?
Yeah, he was up there, one of the best players in Europe for that season. Without a fucking doubt, he was unbelievable. It was, just love to see that again, wouldn't you? A player coming. I was hoping Kudos might have given us that. He hasn't quite done it this year.
Yeah.
His stats are not the greatest. It's a
I mean, don't
shame
get me wrong,
because he would have got a lot of talent.
Paqueta on his day is a magician, but
Yeah, just not seen enough.
how about this fella, that Glenn Vage? He says, "AD Coker."
Who's that, Glenn? Yeah, Eddie Coker. Remember him hitting the scene, a young boy. Eddie Coker, man. I remember I was at his first game at West End. Can't remember who it was against, but I remember him coming on. Eddie Coker, yeah. Had a lot of potential, never reached it.
Ray says, "I'm worried about the Ramsdale news. Maybe Brady knows his mum."
Yeah, right. Something like that.
And he a great player. Yeah, I mean,
No, before our time, Vic. Even though he probably thinks it.
Yeah, a player that was during our lifetimes, though, Cieran, you and I in particular. I can't speak for everybody in the chat, but my namesake, actually, Budgie Cieran. I mean,
yeah, it was good.
Wonderful goals.
Vic, I know Vic Watson's stats are off the charts.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
but yeah, remember Budgie Cieran?
Yeah, Budgie Cieran. I remember him, and I can remember, like, he was always there, and like for a guy that looked the way he did, and he didn't exactly look like a professional sportsman.
No, he looked like a Sunday footballer, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, didn't he? And he had a bit of a balding head and all that. And mate, the boy could get round that field, though, mate. I've watched a few replay, videos of some of his stuff, and it still amazes me how he got around the pitch the way he did. You know, he was fantastic at getting himself around.
Yeah, I liked him. I like Parlo. I like
great player. Yeah, he was fantastic. In fact, I used to like Diafra Sakho as well, to be fair. He was a good player. It would be Antonia, who I think he has fair, given that he's top goal scorer in the Premier League and European era. Fans struggle to digest that stat because he's black. Damien, it's nothing to do with him being black. I've got members of my family that are black, and some of my favourite players in the world are black. Pele being one of them.
Don't. That's definitely not an issue.
Colour, mate. Definitely nothing to do with colour. But if you look,
we're all raving about Pele in the 70s, mate. That didn't matter what colour. It was just brilliant.
Yeah. And Eusebio, I mean, he was black, wasn't he? And like some of the players that have made the headlines and therefore made a bit of history in World Cup history. Some of the players that have done that, some of the greatest moments in World Cup history have come from black players, and we celebrate them. I mean, Roger Miller, for example. When that guy was about, what was he? Cameroon, was it? Cieran? Roger Miller? Cameroon, I believe, wasn't it?
Cameroon, wasn't it? Yeah, I think so.
We all celebrated it when he played because he really gave the game some electricity, some spark. It's got nothing to do with colour, Damien. It's unfair of you to say that, mate. Especially not with us, anyway. That's the story. I'm not your dog. Great song and video. Oh, hang on, yeah, okay. All right, I'm just trying to. Right. So Jamie's in Ottawa. Okay, nice. Good evening, Leon. Good evening, Budgie. Good morning, Cieran. Hello, Hammers Online. Anyone see the Chelsea guy who got banged up in a Polish jail, found out that they had won when he got out, stuck out there with no money for getting stuck in? Oh, great tune, Harry. DISCO.
Jesus Christ.
Ottawan, yeah. Thank you, Sean. It is Ottawan. Yeah. Damien says, "Gonna love you and leave you, gents. Just remember, next time I come back, it's purely because I love the two of you, not West Ham." Nice one, Damien. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. What else we got? Hang on. Yeah, Mark says, and yes, stood for super sexy. Is Antonio going to play for West Ham? No.
I don't think so, Dan. I'll be amazed if he ever plays again, to be honest with you.
Six men couldn't carry Lampard. Right. Well, we're running short of actual comments. Everybody's chatting with each other. All right. Yeah. Or calling girls treacle. That's very true. What have we got? Right. Iron says he met the East End's dude, Mitch. Don't know who that is. Hammer fan who told me we got to give Potter time. The guy is made. He has a plan. Fly back and forth from upstate to the UK to catch West Ham. The guy designed watches. Okay. Nice.
Well, so, we got next season right with Potter, right? Regardless, apart from, the first couple of months.
Yeah.
It's he has to improve, right? There's no ifs or buts of that with Potter. He has to improve. Otherwise, he's here for. We got to accept he's here for the season. His first 2 months are going to be crucial to him and the fan base. He really has to up the game, man. And this window that we're in is crucial, absolutely crucial. We don't know who we're losing.
And you got to remember,
we know somebody losing.
There's a lot of pressure on him to not just to keep a squad of players happy with playing time, rest time, etc., but he's also got to keep 60,000 people in a stadium happy every.
Be lucky to get that the way he's going.
Yeah,
it's just the first 2 months are crucial for next season. He's got to give West Ham fans a bit of
hope. Swinging, mate. He's got to, because if he don't, there's trouble ahead.
You can only lose so many players, guys. I mean, we could be losing 10, right? And then when you start thinking, rumours about Souček could be on the way out, and Kudos or Paqueta, we don't know until he gets his decision. You're losing so much of a team with Cresswell, Fabs, Soufal. Fucking hell, man. The recruitment, fuck me. And the trouble West Ham fans have got at the moment, we don't have a lot of trust in the West Ham to fucking find the answers. So it will be interesting, especially in the next 6 weeks or so, about, where we are for the next season's team. It could be worrying. But if he gets it right, I don't know how he's going to do it, but if he gets it right, he'll do well. But the trouble is, a lot of people haven't got confidence in him getting it right. Or more so, Sullivan helping to get it right. That's where that's where the hope falls down, because you got Sullivan in charge of the fucking shit.
Yeah, Ian says, I heard a story about the old ICF under fives. Tossed a pinball machine down a flight of stairs at Millwall. Millwall stopped, looked up and said, what the fuck was that? And split. I think I'd be running if I saw a pinball machine coming at me. Right. Leon, see, a man of taste, I knew it. Harrington, Oxblood, Stay Press braces. Still a clean cut style, mate. Absolutely. And there's a couple of guys, two or three of them actually, in the Carpenters regularly every home game. They wear that stuff. One of them wears the old Trilby, nice, light blue Trilby and that, or a claret one. Yeah, it's nice. Nice, I love that style. Always been a good style. I even stayed in that style. I just swapped the boots for loafers when I started growing my hair out and became a suede head. But not many people know what a suede head was. Brazil 70 and Brazil 82. 82. Who was in the team of 82? That was Zico, wasn't it? That was Zico and that, wasn't it? Surely.
Can't remember that. 82 fucking. I remember the 70 more than I can 82.
Yeah, me too. You got me intrigued now, Sean. Hang on. 1982 Brazil squad. I love Google. Players. There we go. Show more. Oh, that's now. No, that's now. That's the current squad, you idiots. People are asking why Jesus not in the Brazil squad. Eh?
I'm not sure Brazil are ripping up any more trees now.
Oh, here we go.
Jeez, but that's 70s. Fucking. They're just so good. They're all over the pitch, mate. They could play football. Even the centre halves could play football. Fucking unreal. I tell you, I've got a little. My mate here goes up.
Yeah.
And we talk about George Best. I'll tell you that story here. The boy I started playing football with here later on. His name's Russell Stewart, right? He used to play for the Australian youth team. And he played for at the time, Brisbane Lions, which was the Brisbane team pre-A-League. It was in the National League. He was a top player. He could have gone to the UK. His brother did, actually. His brother went over to Bristol City and played for them. He could have gone over and made it. He just didn't have the interest in doing it. But they had a thing there, the Brisbane Lions. George Best came over. I forget what type of went in his career. But he came over to play 2 or 3 games for Brisbane Lions.
Oh.
And so Russell got to play with him. And on and I know this is true because when I used to go down Russell's house, the first thing I saw was this picture of him and George Best in his dressing room, of him handing George Best a boot. And what happened was, one game, George Best turned up, forgot he'd bring his boots. And Russell had the same size as him, so Russell gave him, borrowed him a pair of his boots. So they had the photo taken of him handing him the boot. It was a great story from him, like that photo of him and George Best in the dressing room in Brisbane, for fuck's sake. Yeah. And you go, fuck, what story? It's brilliant.
Yeah. I did have the pleasure of meeting George Best one time, but he was in a pub, drunk, about 2 years before he passed away. Right, so the Brazil squad for 1982, and no wonder Sean has highlighted it. I'll read out the names. Right, so goalkeeper, Valdir Perez. Okay. Oscar, Cesaro, Serginho, Falcao, Paolo
Okay.
Isidoro, Batista, Dursal, Junior, Socrates, Luzinio, Zico, Leandro, Ida, Telly Santana, Edivaldo, and Pedrino.
A few good names in there.
Bloody Junior, Socrates, Luzinio, Zico. They were all big. Falcao was big. Oscar was big. You know? So, yeah, a great squad. Great squad of players. How long we've been going for? Hour and 15
Yeah,
minutes.
Gascoigne.
Yeah, Gascoigne was great, wasn't he? He was actually a great player. Right, let's see what else we've got here. Andy Horse, he says David Swindleworth was the nuts for his first 20 minutes.
Swindlers, fucking hell.
Damien says Thierry Henry, va-va-voom. Absolutely, mate. Hoddle and Waddle. I always think of ducks when I think of them too. I don't know why. Hoddle and Waddle.
Yeah, they were two top players, man. I used to be pissed off with Hoddle because he was in the time of Trevor Brooking and he'd get more headlines in the Sun newspaper, Hoddle, than fucking Brooking would. So he used to annoy me.
Yeah. Iron, see, you understand exactly. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Had the hole in the coat happen too often. Nothing exciting, I'm afraid. No comment. Protection, walking through rough neighbourhoods as a kid. My mum was pissed. Jay left Tom Socek off that list. Yeah, true. Top player, but flash kit. Yeah, true. But
great player.
Love him. Like Ian Wright actually was a player that we haven't mentioned either, who deserves a mention.
Not so much for us, but
that could be actually. Oh, right, okay. Right. I don't know who that is, so we won't. Iron says, Payet is the best I've seen in a West Ham shirt, no question.
That's exactly my. I've never, of all the players we've seen, right, from the early, mid '60s, I've never seen a player have such an impactful season as that. That was fucking unbelievable.
Damien, I'm gonna respond to this, mate. He says, you do realise Antonio is top goal scorer in West Ham Premier League and European era. It's not a joke, it's a numerical fact. Older fans struggle with that, no offence. Fine, I get your point. No offence here either.
He's the top goal scorer in West Ham Premier League. Yeah, but West Ham didn't start in the Premier League then. You know?
Yeah, exactly that. Right, and what you struggle to
understand. The world didn't, begin Premier League. Fuck Premier League. I think the Premier League's been the downfall of English football.
Mm-hmm.
With the stupid transfer monies and the wages ever since they started.
I think I can speak for both of us here. Right, neither of us have got anything to say negative against Antonio. We both believe that he has been absolutely world class for us. You know,
apart from his
I've got no problem with Antonio in any way, shape, or form. He is not a world class player, though. That's the difference.
No, he's just been a great
player, and he's great at our level. And yes, he is our top goal scorer, and I'll always hold him high regard for that. Always, and I will always remember his celebration for getting that goal when he held that cardboard cutout of himself aloft. I will always remember him and love him, but he ain't the greatest player West Ham have ever had.
No, No, and sooner or later, Bowen will overtake that record that he has.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, sooner rather than later. Probably the way.
Hey, Gary.
Evening, Gary. How are you, mate? Marco van Basten, another great player.
Quality, Alan. Quality.
Yeah.
That goal scored, was that in the Euros or the World Cup from the fucking nearly corner flag? What a fucking goal that was. Jesus fuck.
Who the hell's Pac Do Ick?
I don't know, Sean.
Jesus. George Ware.
George Ware, yeah.
I love this next comment as well. Ben Ayoun.
Yeah, I liked him, man. Yeah, big fan.
Big Israeli, Israeli, wasn't he? Loved him.
Yeah, he was good, man. Good, a bit of class, man. A bit of flair on the ball, man. Really, really liked him, yeah.
Actually, let me just quickly go back to Damien's comment about Antonio. In fairness, you're right, mate. He is the top goal scorer in Premier League history and that. But, and I'm using this name for a very good reason because they share a skin tone. If Jermaine Defoe had stayed at West Ham, how many goals do you think he would have got?
Shit, though.
I would probably guess at least 50% more than Antonio has got in his career at West Ham. I'm not being funny. Antonio, I love Antonio. Defoe's a much better goal scorer. Much better. No question. Budgie Cieran says, Daz, are we doing a show next week? Yes, we are, mate. Yep. Failing, Cieran getting eaten by a crocodile or a shark, and then it would just be me.
Yeah. Or attacked by fucking magpie.
Have a pop at him. He spelt your name wrong, Cieran.
Yeah, Daz, saw that, mate. I before the E, except after C. That doesn't apply to my name. The I does become before the E. Hey, do you know they've done away with that, geezer? That I before the E, except after C. There's so many exceptions to that now. They don't use that analogy anymore.
No, they don't. No.
There you go.
Marlon Harewood, the king of hat tricks, another personal favourite.
Yeah,
Iron.
He was one of them grafters, wasn't he? Iron. He was a good old grafty player. Not the greatest, but he couldn't knock his. Couldn't knock his.
Marlon Harewood. All right, I love that man with a passion. I thought he was great, and that's actually a gift for me from this channel about 3 years ago. I'll tell you
what I've always noticed though, with West Ham fans, it isn't always the best player that becomes their favourite.
No.
It isn't always. That's why you get a lot. There's still a lot of love out there for Souček and Sofal. Because it isn't because they're the best. It's because of their work rate and effort and trying to do the best.
And their desire to appease us as fans.
Yeah.
Like, if anyone asks me ever who my favourite West Ham player of all time is, without hesitation, I'm going to say Bobby Moore, right? Without hesitation, because he is my favourite. No, sorry, for me, he's the greatest player ever to play for West Ham because he transcended further than that. He lifted the World Cup, the only Englishman ever to do it. So for me, he's like legendary, godlike status for me at West Ham. My favourite player was Martin Peters. I loved the game he played. I tried to emulate that when I was playing. Didn't do it very well because I was started off as a left back. So it really wasn't very easy to try and emulate Martin Peters, but I did try, which is why I moved up into midfield. But I think there are so many players that West Ham have had that could quite easily have been, the number one player of all time. just things inevitably happen at West Ham. They get sold. They get injured. I mean, look, what would Dean Ashton have been now if he'd have been kept fit all his career and stayed with us? Come on. I mean, you know. Yeah, there's another great name. Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yeah. Another class player.
WHU58, good evening, bud. He says, A.D. Coker took us football training at my old school, Lister, back in the day. Oh, my God, he was quick. Yeah.
Is that right, 58? What school was that? They used to come to our school at St Bonaventure's to do that.
Randy wants to know if there's any video games that either of us ever liked or played when we were younger.
Video game? Yeah.
No. It was more like pinballs and
yeah.
And
love the pinball.
Yeah. But having said that, I still currently own a PlayStation. I have got PlayStation 4. I won't upgrade, not until I have to. I've got a PlayStation and I play Gran Turismo on it. And I've got the steering wheel and everything. And the pedals. Yeah. 63-year-old, 19-year-old kid. That's me.
That's not me.
Rio Coker says, I am disabled, my guy. Yeah. Croydon boy. I knew people in the street he lived in. Grew up in. I hope we're getting the news that end. Have we seen Sesko? That's the guy that a lot of people have been talking about recently, Damien. I haven't actually watched him, but I have heard other media outlets, like proper ones, like I say proper ones. That's actually doing everyone else a disservice. What I mean by that is, established TV media outlets have been saying that this Sesko is a very good player.
Yeah, I don't know. The most impressive player I've seen this year that I think will be 17 will be up there with Messi, Ronaldo, Maradona, and there's that boy, that right winger at Barcelona. What's his name? I forgot his name now. That young lad. Jesus Christ. That boy is going to be a superstar. I think they've just signed him up again for another 7 years. Yeah, he's so good.
He's being moulded by them, isn't he? Like
he's unbelievable. He's just, you can see that he's a future superstar already at 17.
Georgie King-Clancy.
King-Clancy, yeah. He's another great player.
Yeah, who's it he used to play for? I kind of remember.
Great name, isn't it? King-Clancy.
Coventry?
Oh, I can't remember.
Can't remember. I'm
remember the name,
sure seeing him in like sky blue. Maybe it was City. Maybe.
Oh, you mean Yamal? That's the boy at Barcelona, right? The boy's going to be the next. He's going to be the next superstar. He's going to be the Messi and the Ronaldo of this modern era. Yeah. No doubt. Bar injury, he's going to be a star, man, a superstar.
Daz wants to know next season. What do we think? Well,
yeah,
good question. It's going to be an uphill struggle, and we'll just have to see what he does in the window. I'm not going to actually be able to answer that until I've seen.
It's so hard. A lot of teams this year, guys, even the likes of Brentford and Bournemouth losing top players. Bournemouth are possibly, or Brentford possibly going to lose their manager as well, Frank. If you believe the bullshit about him, he could go to Tottenham if they sack Big Ange. If these teams might struggle, we until we see West Ham's window and what they've done, it's really hard to say. It's all going to depend on that. It's as simple as that. A lot of these teams, and you've got the likes of Leeds now with a bit of money behind them, they can spend it. It's not getting dragged down there. This is one of the most important windows we've had. We sort of say that every year, but we've had for quite a while because we know so many players could be leaving. So I think all these teams that have done well this year might struggle if they lose their best player, like Mbeumo leaving Brentford. Maybe risk. Fucking hell, man. It could be a big hit on them.
As you just said that, I just noticed this. Look, quick breaking news. Apparently, Man United have bid 45 plus 10 in add-ons for Mbeumo from Brentford, apparently.
Yeah, there you go. And he's been sensational for him this year.
45 plus 10 in add-ons. Mate, that's a bargain for him.
Because all the rumours were he'd be going to Newcastle and Mbeumo. And Man United have stepped in.
Yeah.
So,
well, Man United are serious negotiators when they want a player.
Either way, he's going somewhere. Well, it looks of it. He's going.
Xavi Simmons. Don't know who that is, mate.
No, I don't. Who's that?
Let's skip some of these. Right.
Yeah, there could be a few teams might struggle next year.
Yeah.
You can't be losing all your best players and then expect to do that well.
Yeah. I really
even Newcastle, I think. See, like my mate, who I love to death because he's a Kiwi boy, Woods. He's not going to have that same sort of season next year. 20 Premier League goals. He ain't going to do that again. That's just a one-off for him.
Mm-hmm.
So they might not get. Forest might not do as well as they have done this year. Nowhere near it. Unless they spend.
Yeah.
They lead.
Apparently, Brentford want 70 million for him. That's why.
Yeah, well, if they can get a bidding war, Randy, going with Newcastle and Man United, they just might.
Yeah, that's why I said 45 plus 10 is a damn good price for him. Because I knew Brentford were looking at 60 plus for him. But yeah.
I think he'd work well at Newcastle, to be honest. I'd rather see Newcastle get him, let's put it that way.
I'm just trying to find something for us to talk about. There we go. Look.
Yeah, what we got to talk about, boys?
Andy Horse, Suede Head for life. Yeah, mate. Yeah, and a few of them, like Sean and Brian P., they're putting up the Brazil 82 players. That's how far behind I am. 15. I'm 20 minutes behind with the chat. So,
fly through it.
Yeah. Do we think we'll sign Ramsden? Bloody hope not. I hope not. We don't know. And to be fair,
we're not keen,
I'm not going to talk about who we could and can't sign. I'm just going to talk about who we did sign, to be fair, Lynn, and with all due respect, darling, because I find all this very confusing and it doesn't interest me. It doesn't, not until they've signed. Really, it doesn't, not anymore. I'm fed up. Like, you don't know how good a player is until he plays. GP says, Leon, they just get on my tits with using terms like real fans. By all means, be pissed off at GSB, but don't pick on our own fans. We're obviously talking about somebody else that, Damien says, Payet's up there for Caduso. Fair enough, mate.
Yeah, he does.
Fair enough. Right, this is a great comment. Look, Antonio is forever and ever the battering ram of old. I got to see him smash one in stateside and burst into tears like a baby. Great comment. Harry says, if we sign Ramsdale, we go down. Jonah. 88 euros.
Well, people thought that about Dawson after he kept getting relegated, and he done all right.
GP says, don't know how much weight Spud's Champion League will get them with 22 Premier League losses.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. That my mate, Big Edge, whether he gets the sack or not, I think there's every chance he does. But I think they say, stick it up your arse, boys. I got you a fucking trophy. What more do you want? And give me that money that you owe me now for the next couple of years of wages.
Yeah. Defoe couldn't play up front by himself. The game's changed and evolved. Good point, but I still maintain that he's a better finisher than Antonio.
Oh, he was a fox in the box, old Defoe, mate. He was dangerous. He was always dangerous. Yeah. Whoever he played for, he was always dangerous. Scored goals.
Like the Jamie Vardy of his day, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a goal scorer, geezer, and he scores goals. It's as simple as that. Antonio was a made-up goal scorer who done well, really well for us, and that's that. And he done a lot of it on his own. As you said, it was a hell of a battering ram, and the way we played suited that. We needed that, and as he said himself, he had to feed on scraps. Weren't easy for him, but he done the job, man.
Yeah. Tony Cotty, 279 games, 115 goals.
It's not a bad record, is it, Mark?
Hartson and Kitson were a good double act, completely. Those and
Cotty
and McAvaney, of course. If Defoe came up in the modern era, he'd likely be a winger because of his physique. Yeah, I agree. That's why I think you need to adopt Ajala's game with a loan and could turn him into a winger.
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea. Agreed, but thank you very much. I don't know what you're agreeing about, but thank you for agreeing with me. He won't have the physicality to be a lone centre forward in the Premier League. The only one West Ham ever had is Antonio. No. What about him up there? What about him? What about Carlton Cole? He did the job. Yeah, I'm sorry, Damien. I know you love Antonio, and I don't knock you for it, mate. But there are players that could do the job equally. All right, maybe they didn't score as many goals, and I know you're going to come up with that, but stop banging on about Antonio. He's finished at West Ham now, mate. Sorry to say, but he is. He's never going to get in front of anybody, is he now? Let's be fair. 39,000 years old, you know. No, I'm taking the piss a bit, Damien, but he is. He's never going to get. He's never going to be a first choice player for West Ham ever again, ever. Hartson was a better striker than Antonio.
Yeah, I think he was. He was. No doubt about it, he was.
Lynn says Cotton and McAvaney. Cotton, was that Nick Cotton or Dot Cotton? I know you meant Cotty.
Lynn, yeah, look, that's the year, right? My last year of going to West Ham home and away was that season, Cotty McAvaney. What a fucking season, people. Them two were smashing in goals for fun. Really well. And I'll tell you what, if it weren't for the bad start we had that 86 season, we would have won the league. That's how important their goals were and how good they were together for that season. It's just that bad start put us behind the 8 ball. Otherwise, we were the best team in the league that year because of them two. They were unreal. Unreal. It was only because Goddard got injured that he threw in McAvenny with Cotton, and they were unreal. They really were enjoying so much of their season, just scoring goals all over the place. It was brilliant.
You seen Howard's comment about the fucking video game that it was a ball and cup when they were young.
About right, geezer. And a yo-yo.
Well, yeah, darts. Used to play darts quite a lot.
Oh, man, I can't get away from this sun. It's right there. How do I get away from it? Oh, it's a fucking
England, mate. You never fucking see it again.
Yeah, video games. You know, when the boy was growing up, I bought him that, and I used to mess about with games on it. I can't. It weren't my thing. Tomb Raider. I remember playing that with him, trying to do that because I did like the puzzle aspect of Tomb Raider, trying to work out how you did things. I used to do that a little bit. That was it.
Great question, Terence. Do you think that if Ian Rush had played for England rather than Wales, he would have been legend? Absolutely. Absolutely. And also
Ian Rush and oh mate, who's the left winger? Man United.
Man United, Liverpool.
No, not I know Ian Rush, but the left winger as well. The Welsh player. Fucking hell, his name for that mate.
Obviously.
Yeah, Ryan Giggs. If Ryan Giggs had been English, right? Fucking hell. Yeah.
Well, imagine if Kenny Dalglish had been English.
Yeah, I could have had him. He would have been up there.
I think he probably would have got a fucking shout in every game he was eligible for. Definitely. Kenny Dalglish was...
No, no. If we had a Great Britain side back then with Giggs and...
Oh, God. There would have been...
Russia, fucking hell. We could have had George Best playing, Gazer. We could have had George Best in the England team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
as a British team, it would have been unbelievable.
Yeah. Mate, England would have been able to pick James Collins.
Yeah, that probably would have happened. But there you go.
Yamal, that's him. He looks good, says Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Lamille or Yamal, isn't it? What a player. Yeah. It's going to be, I'm telling you that now, going to be the next Messi. Or fucking Maradona, or whatever one you want to compare him to, it doesn't matter. He's going to be the next superstar, barring injury. He's unbelievable.
Cole Palmer is a bit of a special player, says Damien. Agreed.
He sort of is, and he isn't. He is, when he's on it, he's fucking unbelievable.
Remember we were talking about King Clancy?
Yeah. It was Man City, it was Man City, Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
before they were
Jamal, Kieran, absolute class.
Yeah, Randy. I've never seen a youngster so good at his age since Rooney or Gascoigne or Messi or fucking. He's unbelievable.
Desire Doué is no slouch.
Oh, that Doué, I see him as well. Top player as well, that Doué. I noticed him in that Champions League. Yeah, real good.
You can tell Yamal is one of those kids who spent all day thinking about nothing other than football.
Yeah.
Same as Palmer. Last one West Ham had like that was Joe Cole. Good comment. Good.
Yeah, it's not bad, Damien. Joe Cole had that sort of in him as well as a youngster. It's another one. He sort of knew that he was going to go on and do good things, even at 16, 17. And that you mean I think it's just another level. It's just...
Joe Cole still kicks the ball today. Not every day. Yeah, not every day, but still kicks the ball around with his kids and that. Declan Rice thinks all day about why he shills Muller Rice. Okay. rice, baby.
No.
Yeah, so Usual said that he remembers Cotty going to Everton and scoring a hat-trick on his debut. And Leon reminded him that he scored it on his debut for us too in 1983. If you're on 100k a week, why do you need to advertise Muller Rice? Because he wants more than 100k a week, clearly. Budgie, I had an Amstrad and Atari unit as a kid.
Atari.
Yeah, I remember they used to come on tape cassettes as well, didn't they? We used to fucking pirate them, and so that we could all play the same game. Well, not me personally, but my mates and that did anyway. I never had a computer. I was never into it. I had a football at my feet. Caduce is better than Mbuemo in my humble opinion. You're probably right, mate. Caduce on a good day is a great player. Great player. Mbuemo on his day, he's a great player, but he's also a very, very good goal scorer as well.
I'd rather have Mbuemo. There you go.
I think I'm probably with you on that. Caduce is a great player, though.
He's a good player, but like you say, you got to look at what he's producing, and stats wise, Mbuemo blows him out of the park. So I can see why everyone's keen, or Newcastle, Man United, are getting him as that right winger. Creates, scores, gets assists. Everything about him, mate, is good.
And he's only 25, as Damien's pointing out here. Look.
Yeah, it's a perfect age.
I thought he was older. I thought he was about 27, 28. Mark says Caduce scored 20 in a season. I don't know. I don't know. It depends on
what do you get this year? 4?
It depends on where you're playing.
4, maybe 5. You know what I mean? You got to look at stats sometimes. I'm not a big stat fan. I use my eyes. But Kudus had been disappointing this year for me. Even though he's got talent. He's full of talent. But he's disappointing.
Yeah, see, no, I'm with you on that, though, Damien. If you played him right wing and gave him the penalties, he might. Because a lot of players, when they say they've got 20 goals in the season,
but I always found when we bought him, I couldn't understand why we bought Kudus, right? Because we had Bowen. I didn't understand because that's where he needs to play.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was a bit strange to bring him in when you've already found it.
We've said that repeatedly over the months and couple of years or more that we've been doing this, and that he's been about. What was his actual function? Only recently took over from Tony. David Cross, what a great player he was.
He was good for us, usual, mate.
And Damien saying Andy Carroll.
Yeah, he was great if you keep him on the pitch.
He didn't get the credit he deserved either.
No, I think he did, guys. You can't have a player that's fucking injured all the time. You know what I mean? The reason that Liverpool paid a shitload of money for him and then fucked him off to us for 15 million because they couldn't keep him fit.
Mm-hmm.
And it cost us a lot of money. If you could have kept him fit, he wouldn't have come to West Ham.
Yeah.
He would have stayed at Liverpool.
Yeah. Gareth Bale.
Top player, geezer. Top player.
What would he have been if he'd have been English and not Welsh?
Another one, yeah. He'd be straight in that England team.
Because Mark had just said Giggs when you were talking about the Welsh left.
Yeah, Giggs. Exactly, Giggs.
Damien suggested it could have been Gareth Bale.
Either.
And he says, what a player. Well, what a player. GP thought it might have been Robbie Savage.
GP, yeah.
I'll tell you one.
He'd be good in the dressing room, I'd say, GP.
I'll tell you one thing about Robbie Savage that I do like, right? And that is when he put his laces for a ball, it stayed hit. He could hit a ball. I mean, it weren't always, point perfect, but he could hit a ball. Daz, good night, mate. Top show says thank you very much. That was 6 minutes ago.
See you later, Des.
Yeah. Mark Hughes, great player.
Decent
manager too. That's more about Caduce. People saying night the Daz. Dean Saunders, nowhere near them levels.
Player, Mark. I liked him, man.
Really nowhere near the levels of the players we've suggested earlier.
No, but I liked him. He was good. He was good.
He was quite good.
Really good.
Jimmy Bullard. I loved him as a player.
He's a better golfer than he was a fucking player.
He used to play for us, apparently, though. I don't remember him playing for us. But he talked about...
He was there as a youngster, He was there as a youngster.
Training with Joey Cole and Lampard and Canio.
Yeah, he's a West Ham fan. The West Ham fan, and he was there as a youngster. I let him go, I think.
Yeah. I like Jimmy Bullard. I think he's a great TV personality.
I watch him nearly every week on. He's with, Tubes? He's got a golf channel, right, called Golf Life, and Jimmy Bullard's part of it. And Jimmy Bullard plays off scratch, geezer. He's some fucking golfer, don't you?
Is he?
Oh fuck yeah! He's fucking a player, man.
What scratch? What's that mean? He don't have.
That means
he plays
almost
with a blank card. No
handicap
or anything. No handicap. That's the word I was looking for.
You know what I mean? He can go around and par a course, basically. Yes. There's massive levels in golf, but to be a scratch player, you're fucking good.
Could be a professional golfer then.
Yeah, he could be. He's actually trying to get into it, but it might be a bit late in the day. But God, he can play. Really play.
Yeah. Right, without a shadow, David Cross beat the Spuds 4-0 on his jacks. He did actually, didn't he? He got all 4 goals. He did. He was the only other player that had done it in the modern game before Antonio did it against Norwich, I believe it was.
Yeah, he was another battering ram, Crossy boy.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah, he was.
But
he's actually one of the ex-player stroke celebs that would be willing to sort of come onto a show like this as well. Crossy loves talking West Ham, loves it. He does, he loves it. And wasn't he part of the 75? No. When did Crossy play for us?
Well, in the 80, he was in the 80 Cup final, geezer. So
it was the 80 Cup final. That's right. Oh, yeah, because he was running up front on his own.
No, actually, John Lowell played him deeper like a false 9 before there was ever such a thing as a false fucking 9 for that game.
Yeah, but in the final, he was running up the top on his own, wasn't he? He was
more or less. It's amazing how Lowell changed it for that game, sort of played him deeper. And Arsenal couldn't work out what the fucking do for the first half hour. Because their centre Arsenal would have been normally marking him, and he was playing so much deeper. It was weird tactics. I never even thought about the tactics when you're watching a game like that at the final. But when you see back of what's been said, that's what he did. And it sort of confused Arsenal's defence.
Damien says, Tubes is hilarious, Kieran.
Yeah, he's all right, yeah. Tubes is. It's him and his brother. His brother's name's Ange. Tubes Ange, and they got Jimmy Bullard on board. And It's not, if you like golf and that sort of YouTube golf, it's, it's okay. Not a bad thing to watch.
That's a good point as well, Damien. Come up with a few tonight, mate. Why don't Sullivan surround himself with football people, like ex-players? Is he dumb?
I think he thinks he knows better than everyone else. That's, I think, the problem. The ego.
Remember seeing her on top of the... Hang on, who are we talking about?
Who did we see on top of the pops?
I don't know, but apparently she had the biggest smile.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Boys. Sabrina. Do you remember? She was actually a page 3 model, wasn't she?
Oh, was she?
Yeah, and she did this.
I remember that shit song. But
and
that's
yeah,
about
and she did the video for it in a bikini and all that nonsense, didn't she? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, she had the biggest smile. Yeah, right. And Mark's is fine knockers. Flipping hell.
Fucking hell. I remember Pan's People. Fucking hell.
Oh yeah, The Wrong Good Friday. I watched it the other night, Kieran. You remember who was it?
Oh, you talked about it yet? I haven't seen it.
It's quite funny. It's on YouTube.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, it is really funny. And he's right. And behind him, there's a West Ham poster.
Oh.
Right, listen, guys and girls, we've been going for 2 hours.
Shit, do we make it?
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you all. Next week we will be back. Not sure what we got planned for next week. Well, we haven't got anything planned for next week yet. Not sure what we're going to plan for next week. But like I did say at the top of the show, we are going to start making plans to do our My Hammers 11 with Mr. Russie B. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. If you are already a subscriber, make sure you've hit that notification bell so that you don't miss anything that we do. If you're not already a subscriber, please do. It's free. Hit the notification bell for all new content. There's lots of stuff on the network over the next few weeks and stuff, even though the season's, closed. Lots of rumours and stuff, helped along by Russie and Anton and young Holly. Remember, we're here every Wednesday, 10 o'clock UK time, 8 a.m. Aussie 7 a.m. Aussie time.
Every fucking week, I've got to tell you that, mate. Every fucking.
Sorry, Pop.
I keep going up. But there you go.
All right, then. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I'll do some. We'll have to work out some subjects to talk about next week.
Yeah, we will. And
I'll have a little bit of research.
We're going to try and get a couple of ex-players to pop in if we can at some point as well. So yeah, just keep your eyes and ears open. We'll have some stuff to do next week. Oh yeah, look, why no Budgie or Cieran emojis? Yeah, I don't know. And then he goes on to put on them ones which are, in the chat. Oh, good evening, Gregory. He says already blocked out last season, so it's all fresh now.
Yeah, Gregory, that's what you got to do, mate. You got to forget about last season and the season before that, to be honest.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, very kind of you.
Andy, yeah. Well, look, we've got to be hopeful. Let's see how the window progresses. See who we sign. Yeah. See who's actually we sell. Then sort of make judgments on it because, at the moment we haven't got a fucking clue what team's even starting next season. We haven't got a clue. So you just got to hope that we do sign some decent talent.
And the thing is, the unsurety about everything is we don't even know who our starting goalkeeper's going to be.
Yeah, we presume it'll be Ariella.
Normally we could be pretty certain that it was going to be one or another. But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Areola will be starting it.
I don't know. Mate,
But there could be. I think he will.
For him, isn't there?
I don't see. Look, if he goes out of form, then you need a keeper to back it up, because it probably happen. Will probably happen.
Yeah, but
and
what if he's sold in the window? What if he is sold in the window?
Who, Areola?
Yeah.
No, we're not. It's impossible to sell him. Giving away Fabianski, there's no way Areola's moving anywhere. He's going to be our starter keeper.
Oh, bloody
and I don't think we're going to spend lots of money on a keeper to replace him. I just can't see it happening. The more priority to spending that money elsewhere.
Ramsdale, aren't they?
You need a but he's going to be a backup keeper now. Whether Ramsdale wants that, I presume. If we brought Ramsdale in on loan, I could see the sense in it. I don't want to buy him. We need a left back badly. We need a midfielder, a box-to-box midfielder badly. We need a striker, regardless of all the other things we need. But the priorities are not a goalkeeper. Priorities are elsewhere.
That's
so
very true.
Ramsdale as a backup to Areola on loan would be. I'd accept it. To buy him, no. Look next year to looking at a number one goalkeeper. Kelleher would have been the ideal choice for me. Where'd he go?
Villa.
Where'd he go? Villa. What? Did he?
Was it Villa? No.
Can't be Villa. They've got Martinez, isn't it?
No, it weren't.
Where did he go? Well, Brentford, was it? Was it Brentford?
Yes, it could have been. Could have been Brentford, yeah.
But yeah, that would have been my choice.
Yeah.
But we've lost out on that one. Doubt if we were ever even fucking contemplating spending that money on a keeper, though. That's my thing. Doubt if we were.
Ian says we need airborne predators to get stories about as well. Well, don't worry, because when it's magpie mating season in Australia, you get them stories, mate.
Magpies and the plovers, mate. There'll be a load of people getting attacked by them soon.
Yeah. Damien says he would have kept Fabianski. I'm sure I would have done probably as well. Well,
I'd have been happy for another year with Fabs as number 2. I would.
Excuse me. Right, so.
All right.
We'll leave that up on the screen for a second. A little crocodile and a little shark. Bless them.
Yeah, you can never know your luck. You hopefully some fucking poor surfer gets chewed up next week. Got something to talk about.
On that note, been great seeing you all. Take care.